biggest key is the way that we present information to the customer makes a difference in how that customer receives that information. It's not just this is the price of something or this is what it is. The way that we convey information to the customer helps them make a more informed decision of like, well, I'm gonna get it now because the discounts are so crazy here. Like, we set the tone and we set their expectation and their perception of what the discounts are and what is crazy and what's normal and what's, you know, something Cutco always does, or what's extra special, or what's something that just I personally am doing for just this personal customer. All of those things are what really set the tone for a customer and their willingness to like buy it now, you know, not wait. They could say, well, I want to buy it now because my rep is giving me such a crazy discount. I want to buy it now because I know the prices are going up. I want to buy it now because I know I can customize it here. I want to buy it now because, you know, I really want to help my rep in their goals or help the team in their goals. You know, all of it's just how we frame things and position things to customers. It's not just I go online and pick out, you know, an item for this price and buy it. There's a specific reason that people buy from us at the time that they do and in the quantity that they do and at the price that they do. And it's all about how we frame it to them. Specifically with Cutco owners, let's say somebody's walking up and they have a homemaker. The way we need to frame things to those customers is we point out the gaps and the shortcomings of the homemaker set. These are the basic tools that Cutco started with in the 1940s. And, you know, most knives in there are great, but there's definitely a lot of pieces you probably don't use all the time. Most bread comes pre-sliced. Most of the time we're not carving up like turkeys and hams on a regular basis. And I bet you're never butchering pigs or chickens. And they're always like, yeah, that's true. Cool. Now over here are what are called our customer requested pieces. So Cutco owners actually wrote in and requested we came out with different kinds of knives to really fill in some of those gaps from the basic set. And so then you go through and you're positioning things. Again, we're framing and positioning the specialty pieces against the homemaker pieces that they're already familiar with. The number one objection of a Cutco owner is, well, I have the homemaker set, like it's got $1,000 on it, it's got 10 pieces, I don't even use all those knives anyway. What we need to do is frame and position that set to not be the end-all be-all. That's why we have the customer cut the potato with the trimmer, because everybody says, oh, I love the trimmer, I use it for everything, it's the best knife. So we have them cut the potato with the trimmer, and then we have them cut with the cheese knife. Even though you love your trimmer and it's great and you use it for everything, it's not gonna do everything. So that's why we don't just show them the cheese knife, we position the cheese knife against the trimmer, against something they already love and have an emotional attachment to and think is the best knife ever. When you have like the best knife ever and then we show you one better, it's a no-brainer, right? That's power positioning. The other one is, you know, positioning the trimmer against the boning knife. You know, hey, this edge, this double edge works great on a lot of things, but have you ever noticed for raw meat, it tends to pull and tear? And they're like, yeah, right? So it's like, again, trimmer's great, but it's not gonna do everything. That's why we have our raw meat knife. That's why we have the boning knife. You know, the petite chef. Hey, this knife is great, but you know, it's pretty big. And a lot of customers said they just didn't use it all the time. They didn't want to pull out a big giant chopping knife constantly. So we actually have our 5-inch petite Santoku knife, you know, and you're letting them kind of feel the weight and see the difference. And it's not just, oh, you'll use this little chopping knife. It's you'll use this in place of the bigger one because you're probably not using the big one all the time. Same thing with the paring knives. Yeah, customers love our little paring knife, but a lot of people said the blade was just too short. You know, it's just not long enough to go through a whole apple or a whole potato. It's kind of short and stubby to use on the cutting board. That's why we came out with our 4-inch paring knife. So once customers see that and they see how you're using these pieces, but with this job, this job, this job, this job, this job, you're really not covered, these knives are gonna be more effective. Even in like Jason Jeffrey's ultimate upgrade approach, he goes so far as to compare all of these other knives to the cheese knife. They go with the cheese knife, and then when we're talking about the boning knife, it's positioned as, yeah, you know how well the cheese knife cut through the potato? That's how well this knife is gonna cut through raw meat. You know how well the cheese knife cut through the potato? That's how well our thin slicer is gonna cut through a watermelon. It's all about positioning and tie-in and comparing the Cutco pieces to other Cutco pieces that they're familiar with. Because that's what we have, that's the biggest tool in our arsenal, is that they already have a bunch of Cutco we're compared to. We're not having to compare to junk knives, we're not having to cut leather, we're not having to price compare to Wusthof and Hinkles. They're prepared on all that stuff. We're now comparing to their other Cutco stuff so they still see that there is a need for more Cutco. When it comes to pricing our ultimate upgrade, for example, notice how we position the ultimate upgrade against the price of the full ultimate set. Hey, this is a set that normally costs $3,100. Because you've already bought half of it, basically, your upgrade is just, you know, $1,500, $1,600, whatever it's priced at in the book. It's like, hey, this is a $3,000 set. You're gonna be getting this complete set for only $1,500. That's a powerful way to frame something to customers. You're getting the full retail price in today's market of your homemaker set off of that complete set. We actually give you the full retail value of that. I know you didn't even pay that much for it when you bought it 15 years ago. So again, that's positioned as like, hey, you're actually getting a ton of money off of this complete set because of that basic set that you invested in. And you're getting more, than you even paid for it off. That's a powerful way to frame it to a customer. And again, it's positioned as this is your complete set. You're done getting knives. All of your knives are in one happy little home. Because a lot of customers at this point too, they have like a homemaker set and then they've got like 2 knives that are randomly like in a drawer and like 1 in a sheath or maybe a tray or something like that. So it's like, yeah, I love that all my Cutco is in one place. I love that everything is in one block. It's out on the counter so it's easily accessible. I find that I don't even really use most of the knives when they're in the drawer, right? And they're like, yeah, that's true. Position is like, oh, this is going to be, one complete set. Everything's in a happy little home. We even position the way that we trade in the block. Hey, I'm going to give you credit for your smaller block when you trade it in, because that's a huge concern. It's kind of like, I spent all this money on a block and then I don't get anything for it. So when we can alleviate that and say, yeah, you're actually going to get credit for your smaller block and trade that in. The great thing is I don't even really care. Like, I have a ton of blocks already. You can keep it, fill it up and give it to somebody else as a gift. You just got to go through me to do that, and you kind of smile and they're like, oh, okay, cool. That works out great. So it's positioning the block. All of that really ties into it. They're gonna have their full set filled out. I always tell them to send back their old Cutco. So the way that I position to customers, again, cool, so Ms. Jones, what we're gonna do is we're gonna ship you out all your new pieces in your bigger block. You're gonna get everything in about a week and a half. We're gonna ship it for free. Once you get that Cutco box in about a week and a half, take all your new stuff out, take all of your old Cutco, put it in the box, ship it off to the factory. You'll go print out that form online. Everything is going to get sharpened and polished and refurbished. Anything that's broken, melted, or rusted is just going to get fully replaced. You'll get brand new pieces. So everything's going to come back like new or new. And that way, number one, you'll have all your new Cutco knives to use while those ones are gone being sharpened. But number two, once everything comes back, everything is going to be the same level of newness and sharpness and freshness. All the handles are going to be polished and just as shiny. That way you don't have, well, these are the old dull ones and these are the new ones. Everything is brand new, super sharp. You've got this amazing $3,000 set and we're getting it to you for just $1,500. So that's a powerful way to frame it and to phrase it for customers, that it's not just like, oh, I'm just buying random new knives. It's like, no, this is a package. This is a program. This is going to help you get your other knives sharpened. That's a huge objection of customers. How do I live without my Cutco for 2 weeks? All of that plays into this, and that's going to help them see the value of this like program and package. What's interesting then is once we've set the tone for that, if the customer is like, hey, that just doesn't fit my budget, I just wouldn't use all those knives, whatever their objection is for the ultimate upgrade, cool, well, we have our builder upgrade or our like 850 package or 884 package or whatever it's priced at in there. And basically that's a drop down, and now we're positioning that against that $1,700 price. So when we're talking 850, we've literally cut it in half. And really what we're leaving out is, instead of getting 4 table knives, you're getting 2. Instead of getting 9 knives, you're getting 5. And we're taking half off the price. At that point, that a lot of times becomes a no-brainer. It's like, wow, well, that's a huge difference. Yeah, let's just do that. We can get a few more knives later. Again, it's positioned. Once you're talking about an 850 package, they're gonna have some open slots. Yeah, and the great thing is, you'll actually have the full-size block, and that'll actually give you room to grow. You'll have a few open slots, which are a good thing, because I'm sure you'll come back and buy knives here or there, and we don't want just more knives ending up in your drawer. You'll already have spots for them, and so that'll give you room to grow over the years. And the best thing is, it really just looks like there's a couple knives that are in the dishwasher. Nobody will even notice anyway. So we're handling that objection and kind of framing it for them of like, oh yeah, we're gonna buy more knives from you, number one, and it's okay that there are open slots, number two. If they still say no to like the 850 package, drop down from there is to a companion set or to a custom 5-piece or whatever, usually a custom 5-piece. We're looking at the 5 knives they were getting anyway. In the 850 package, we're just taking out the block and the 2 table knives. And at that point, you're literally taking out just like a block and 2 table knives, and you're saving them, again, half the price. We're looking at, $380, $400 at that point. So because those 5 knives were positioned against the 850 package, against the ultimate upgrade, against the full ultimate set, all of a sudden, even 5 knives at full price for $400 sounds like a steal. And they're like, wow, yeah, we would definitely use those. And we can get them in the tray. Yeah, let's just do that, and we'll finish out our upgrade next year. Instead of just showing somebody 5 knives for $400, because we positioned it the right way and framed it the right way with customers, it feels a lot better to them. And now they're primed and they're ready, and the seed has been planted for them to do their full upgrade later. Really, with the 5-piece, with the 850 package, with the ultimate upgrade, it's all about just figuring out what price point works for them and what they're comfortable with. But because, again, they're positioned against each other, it just makes it much more effective.